And I'll be honest, I've never been one to make friends with competitors.
A familiar place and a sight for Jeff Gordon.
At that time, I was like, man, I just won my 4th championship. I wanted he and that team to go out there and tear it up. And I was cool with that. I wanted to get my fair share in there as well, you know. And I hoped that we would battle for the championships. And we did the first few years. Then what started happening was those guys' success started to rise. And it wasn't that I had a problem with their success. I had the problem with the lack of our success. It's a good kind of rivalry that exists, and I think it's one of the things that makes it so strong.
Is it? When you're beating doors at Texas at 150 miles an hour? Is that healthy?
Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson touch, teammates, friends. I think Jeff Gordon's kind of thrown all of that out the window.
What happens is when you're friends and your teammates, you know, there's just these certain boundaries that you have to be very careful not to cross. And on that day, Jimmy felt like I crossed a boundary. I felt like he crossed a boundary, and we butted heads. Then we go to Talladega, and it's just the timing of everything really got things heated up.
48 is testing my patience, I can tell you that. It takes a lot to make me mad, and I'm pissed right now.
I probably shouldn't have said what I said afterwards, and I let my emotions,
Wow.
you know. And I know
Wow.
from you, listen, from your standpoint, it's all good, you know. And
Well, why isn't it from your standpoint if you meant it? Who
And
cares?
I
Who
did
cares
mean
what
it.
anybody thinks if you meant it?
I'll tell you why, because on Monday, you know, we're not at the racetrack in front of the media and thousands of fans. We're at the race shop, or, you know, our guys on our team.
Did you feel any differently on Monday?
I did when I got the phone call from Rick Hendrick, yeah. It's good to have internal rivalry, because that's what makes people competitive. You know, that's what makes people work harder, try harder, do everything they can to continue to elevate up their game. And one day we're going to laugh about Texas and Talladega, and that's what makes friends. You know, that's what makes a good friendship.
Well, and what have you done lately? Business. It can be very easy to lose sight of just what Jeff Gordon has done. He's won one of every 7 races he's been in, finished in the top 5 in nearly half his starts, and his 4 championships puts him in a tie with Jimmy Johnson for 3rd all-time, behind only Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. The first Brickyard race, 1994. Jeff won it. Ray, you were with him. The circumstances were kind of magical.
They were. We were a new team coming to a new track with only 1 win under our belt. The good thing was it was a level playing field. Not Rusty Wallace, not Dale Earnhardt, not Bill Elliott. Nobody had a playbook. We knew that if we could win here, we could prove that we beat the best. We won that day, and I really feel like that gave us the confidence to go on and win the 1995 championship.
Now, Jeff hasn't won in 48 races since Texas 2009. If Indy's a platform where the best performing teams and drivers shine, can Gordon win today?
He absolutely can win, and here's why. He's been strong throughout the year. I know he hasn't won yet, but he is second in the points. He's 103 points out right now. And if there's any racetrack that Jeff can shine at, it's at Indianapolis. He loves this track. He's from around this area. I know California, Indy, whatever you want to call it, but he loves it. And it's in his head that if I've got to dig down deep and get a win, this is the place I can do it.
Yeah, this is a special place for Jeff Gordon, and he absolutely can use this as a catalyst. But the thing that concerns me is he has run well all season long, and particularly in the beginning of races. It's at the end. He doesn't seem to be in position during the end of runs to win races. If Steve Letarte and those guys can put that 24 up near the front at the end of a race, Jeff Gordon will get that bad boy to victory lane.
But Jeff has an opportunity today to do the same thing that he did for us back in '94. He can give that younger team of his the confidence to know that they can beat the best if they take it to him today. And that could propel them to a championship. 5 wins at Indy could mean 5 championships for Jeff Gordon.
Interesting to see that 24 car again lined up in 8th position. You can see and hear more of Marty's interview with Jeff Gordon by logging on to ESPN.com. Keywords Gordon video. There are 3 more segments you can watch, and it is good stuff. Up next, Jimmy Johnson, winner of this race the last 2 straight years. Hear Jimmy tell you in his own words why he's able to stay cool and calm in the big pressure situations like here at Indy or like trying to clinch a championship. That's next on NASCAR Countdown.
Enthusiast, you may remember me from such racing films as Talladega Nights, Bristol Afternoons, and Daytona's Morning Dew.
We're inside your TV to tell you to go see the new cop movie, The Other Guys, on August 6th. And oh yeah, also want to let you know that you're watching NASCAR at the Brickyard on ESPN.
We won the Daytona 500!
Jimmy Johnson wins the Arrow.
You guys all the job! He's champion, three-peat race.
Jimmy Johnson becomes a three-time winner at the Brickyard 400.
History, boys. No one ever.
Jimmy Johnson came to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in 2002, and since then has led more laps and won more races than any other driver. He's never finished worse than 5th in the championship and won the last 4 straight titles. It's not bad. Johnson has shown a remarkable knack for rallying from mid-race trouble and pursuing victory relentlessly, seeming immune to the pressure of a race or championship's late stages. Some say Double J has ice water in his veins.
In every race, there is a transformation. Show nothing, give nothing, win at all costs. The chaos tries to envelop him. The transfusion courses through him, working its way from inside out. A coldness overtakes him. He has ice water running through his veins.
Ice water in the veins means being composed, focused, and ready to get the job done. And the only way you do that is to stay calm. The chaos on track, there's so many levels to it. We can run anywhere from 210, 215 miles an hour. The best wake-up call for how fast we're going is when something goes wrong. And there's so much to lose if you cross over the line, stick the car in the fence, and then through the course of the race, you've got to ramp up and find that limit and find 10/10ths and not step over that line. Getting caught up in the emotions of the race is really easy to do. You know, as time goes on, I find it becomes more and more difficult to shrug some of that stuff off. The environment on track really boils down to the way you race me, I race you. You can't let people walk on you. If you show a weakness, each time they get to you, they're going to put you in a position that you don't want to be in. So there are guys out there that they won't show me the respect. I sure as hell not going to show them the respect.
Heavy lies the head that wears the crown. There are no teammates, no loyalties, no friendships. Only the cold-blooded taste the checkered. And victory is sweet.
The most tense situation that any driver could hope for is at the end of the race, trying to close the deal, trying to win the race. When I'm in someone's rearview mirror in the closing laps, I hope that they look up in their mirror and they see that Lowe's hood and they know that we're there. They start to have doubt in their head. But at the end of the day, the only way people have the invincible opinion and the idea that we're not beatable is by what we do on the track. And for the last 4 years, we've delivered and we've closed.
Pretty cool customer, isn't he? Seriously, Jimmy Johnson seems to have an incredible ability to close, be it a race or a championship. Is that a learned skill? Is that instinctive? What?
It is absolutely instinctual. Jimmy Johnson came over to me a few weeks ago as I was sitting hollering when he was talking to me after the Sonoma race, and he didn't apologize for winning that race. He told me, he says, you had a pretty good race car that day, and went on. Never said anything about sorry for the mishaps or anything like that. Guys like Jimmy Johnson, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, they have this instinctual thing in them that they will step on your throat given the opportunity, and they will do it every time.
And guys like that have the ability, just like Jimmy said, to manage their emotions. This guy is so cool. He's like a GPS, victory lane, flat tire recalculating, accident recalculating. I mean, he's gonna get there, and he stays calm about it. He recalculates every time they have a problem.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Now, Jimmy talked about in the piece seeing himself come up, or other people seeing him come up in their rearview mirror and being in their heads? Is Jimmy in their heads?
Absolutely, Jimmy Johnson is in their heads, or he's in everybody's heads. I mean, he's even in my head. I mean, they asked me to pick who I think's going to win this race, and I said I think Denny Hamlin for several reasons. But something in the back of my head told me, you better pick Jimmy Johnson.